Okay, if you're a salaried employee, you're going to want to listen up. The way your paycheck is put together is changing, and it's going to directly affect the money that hits your bank account.
So, what does this actually mean for you? Is your take home pay, the money you actually get in hand, going to go down? Well, for a lot of people, the short answer is yeah, it is. And this isn't some rumor. This is an official change that the government has announced. So, let's break down what's actually causing this shift. It all comes from the new labor code that officially went into effect on November 21st, 2025. And this new code completely changes the game when it comes to how companies are allowed to structure your salary. Here is the absolute heart of the matter. See, the way it used to work, companies could make your basic salary a pretty small slice of your total pay, often just 30 or 40% of your CTC. But this new rule, it throws that out the window. Now it's mandatory. Your basic salary has to be at least 50% of your total pay. No exceptions.
Okay, so why does this one number, the basic salary, matter so much? Well, it all comes down to your Provident Fund, or PF. That's the mandatory retirement savings plan we all contribute to. And here's the kicker. Your contribution is always calculated as 12% of you guessed it, your basic salary. So you can probably see where this is going, right? If your basic salary is forced to go up, then your PF contribution automatically goes up with it. That means more of your money is being funneled straight into your retirement account every single month.
All right, I know all these percentages and terms can make your head spin a little bit, so let's just make it real. Let's look at a practical example and see how the numbers actually shake out.
For our example, let's imagine your monthly CTC, your total cost to company, is 50,000 rupees. It's a nice round number to work with. So under the old rules, a company could set your basic salary at 40%, which on 50,000 is 20,000 rupees. Your monthly PF contribution would be 12% of that, or 2,400 rupees. But now, with the new rule, that basic salary has to be at least 50%. So it jumps up to 25,000 rupees. And 12% of that is 3,000 rupees a month. You see the difference? Now, that might not sound like a huge jump month to month, but when you look at it over a whole year, wow, it really starts to add up. With the old system, you would have saved 57,600 rupees in your PF for the year. But with this new change, that number jumps all the way up to 72,000 rupees. That's a pretty significant boost to your savings. So let's boil it all down. That 600 rupee difference, that's the trade-off. Every single month, 600 rupees that would have gone into your pocket to spend is now going directly into your retirement fund instead. Okay, so it's really easy to just focus on having less cash in hand right now, and I totally get that. But this whole change is really designed with the long game in mind. It's all about strengthening our social security for the future. So let's shift our focus for a minute and look at why this might actually be a fantastic thing for you down the road. So what are these big long-term wins? Well, there are two major ones. First, and most obviously, your Provident Fund is just going to grow way, way faster. You're building up a much bigger nest egg for retirement. And second, there's Gratuity. You know that big payout you get when you leave a company after a few years? Well, that is also calculated based on your basic salary. So a higher basic means a much bigger gratuity check when you decide to move on. And look, we are not just talking about a few thousand rupees here and there. That seemingly small monthly amount becomes an absolute giant over time. And that's because of the magic of compound interest. Your money isn't just getting added up, it's earning interest, and then that interest starts earning its own interest. Seriously, over a 30-year career, this difference can amount to lakhs, all thanks to the power of compounding. All right, so we've walked through the new rule, we've crunched the numbers, and we've seen the potential long-term benefits. Which brings us to the big question, the one that really matters. How should you feel about all this? At the end of the day, that's exactly what this is. It's a fundamental trade-off. On one hand, you're giving up a bit of that in-hand salary today, that immediate cash you can spend. But what you're getting in return is a bigger, better, and much healthier retirement fund for your future self. So I'll leave you with this question. How do you feel about this change? Is this a good thing? A kind of forced discipline that's going to help us all in the long run? Or would you rather have that money in your pocket today to decide for yourself where it goes? It's a huge question about financial freedom versus financial security, and now it's one we all really have to think about.